you go through moments of, I can't possibly get to the other side of this. How have you handled that? How do you push through?
When you enter this stage where like, I can't go anymore, just put one step in front of the other. Sometimes that was pulling into my practice, sitting inside my car and just like, take a deep breath, Kayla. You have to have counsel. Mm-hmm. You cannot be isolated. You cannot make decisions like when you're in the midst of that.
Welcome to On Second Thought with me, Jackie Pfeiffer, a podcast for ambitious women and mothers who built a life doing everything right and are now questioning whether it's actually the life they want to keep living. Maybe nothing is wrong. You're not unhappy, burned out, or falling apart. You're grateful for what you've built, but still honest enough to admit you may want something else. This show gives you permission to question your life, get clear on what you want next, and explore a different direction without blowing up everything you've built. Because sometimes creating the life you want starts with one honest realization. On second thought, I want something different. Kayla, welcome to On Second Thought. I'm so glad you're here.
Me too.
Thank you so much. Okay, so for those listening, Kayla is my esthetician. Beauty guru. She does my Botox, my laser, my microneedling, all the things. And I have never looked better. People tell me I'm aging backwards.
You literally are aging backwards.
Thank you.
For sure. Like, I agree with that too. Like, even to just with your whole like fitness and everything, I think this is the best that you've ever looked.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good. So I wanted to have you on today because, well, one, I think you're an incredible human.
Thank you.
You are so kind. You are a huge, like, you are a massive person in Oklahoma City in terms of your business. You are a CEO, you're a mom, you're a wonderful wife, and like all the things. And so it's kind of the premise of the show is to talk to people who have all different versions of themselves and are making hard decisions in their life and trying to decide what's right for them. So I'm going to start.
Okay.
Do you have anything you want to share? Anything you want to say to get going?
No, I think that, you and I both like have a similar heart of just connecting with women and just really being down to earth. I've probably been judged my entire life just based off my looks, where people just want to look at me and think that everything I have has been handed to me. And that's not necessarily the case. Or they may look at me and think that I'm not a good or nice human being when really like I'm just down to earth and like to have conversations like this too. Mm-hmm. And I chose this profession a long time ago, probably at the age of 5, that I knew that I just wanted to instill confidence in other people. And so it's exciting too today for it to come full circle and to me see the confidence in you that you're exuberating with this podcast and just how you feel confident.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah. I was on my, doing my first video, like story video, like, which
You're
is
like cringe.
Well, I've never done it like active. Like I'm on stories filming and I'm going to post this after. I've always edited everything. Yeah. Anyway, I was like, I didn't have confidence a year ago. Like, and everybody thinks that I'm this most like confidence, badass, like boss bitch, whatever. And I am like, I have no self-trust. I had no self-trust. Yeah. And so that's a lot of what I've been building over the last year to get here. Yeah. But when I first met you in person, I will say, I think both of us are a little intimidating to other people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you were very intimidating to me. But then when we started talking, like, it was just so natural and you were just so kind. And I was like, oh, why was I nervous? That was stupid.
Yeah.
I
get that a lot too, that like the intimidating factor and things like that. And I think that, for me too, in the industry that I'm in, I have to come off very confident, whether I'm dealing with like a male rep or, just being in a room with other successful people is I have to know that I deserve to stand there and I always have to have that appearance. Yep. But I think that that's something too that comes with maturity and aging and life circumstances.
Right. And well, your clients too, because like you can't show up and be like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm going to inject you with a needle.
For sure. For sure.
So, yeah.
I think that when I'm training and other people right now is the one factor that I think sets me apart is I do walk into that treatment room confident and like knowing I'm going to help you and steering you in the right direction.
Oh yeah, I know I'm going to walk out of your office looking like a queen. Okay. And Hale the beauty queen.
Yes.
There she is. Okay. I love to start the whole conversation with rapid fire questions. So you can answer as briefly as you'd like. If it goes a little bit longer than a couple sentences, that's fine. But
Okay.
okay. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. When you think about ambitious women and mothers in midlife, what do you think is the biggest reason so many start questioning what they want next or who they are becoming?
I think I would just say, they're kind of in this like, they've lost their identity. I think a lot of them in that mid-age factor, whether they've lost their identity in their marriages or their careers or their children. And so I think that they are maybe redefining who they are during that stage.
Mm-hmm. What is one sign a woman may be outgrowing an old version of herself, even if things look good from the outside?
I think just trusting that instinct inside of you where you're wanting more. Just that desire of your heart.
Yeah. What does that feel like to you? Like, what has that felt like to you over the years?
For me, I think that desire has not changed. I still feel like I'm called to do more, and I haven't hit it yet. So my fire is still burning, and it's not that I'm not proud of myself of where I am, but would I look at myself and say, you're done, you've accomplished what you're supposed to? Not yet. I don't feel that peace. And it's not me wanting, more all the time. It's like I have not finished my race that I was set out to run yet.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. What's one thing women should give themselves more permission to question in their lives?
For me, I would probably say relationships and boundaries. Um, that's something that I've been learning over the past several years of setting healthy boundaries within relationships. That's hard for a lot of people. It's hard to be different. It's hard to, have your morals and your boundaries and stick within those.
Yes. It's one of the things that has become a theme of the conversations that I'm having with all of these women is like, you outgrow certain relationships and you learn what's right for you in the season that you're in. And when you start to put up those boundaries, people start to wonder if they're worthy, if you're worthy of them. Like it just becomes a whole thing. And then you feel like you're back in high school, honestly. And
Yeah.
it really is hard.
Yeah.
But I think you and I are both strong women.
Yeah.
We can get through it.
And I don't know if that's like part of like our generation,
Maybe.
right? Of these like mid 30s of like, we're a little bit more confident than our previous generation of like, and then, the younger generation, we love them. But
Yes.
I feel like the boundaries thing I'm seeing a lot too with my friends and the conversations that I'm having as well.
Yeah. It's tough. So this episode really is for the woman thinking like, and I love that you named your company HaleStorm and that you talk about things as storms that pass and things you get through it.
Yeah.
This is like on second thought, the storm did not mean I was off the path. It was preparing me for what I was building and what I am building.
Yeah.
And I want to start there because people see your success and your business and again, how you look, how you appear, and the credibility that you're building through your training and speaking and all of those things. But you've shared several times personally on your platform and social media and otherwise that you've gone through things and gone through storms to get here. So when I was preparing for this episode and I was chatting with our producer and we were just like thinking about different things. And I looked at your form. You kept mentioning making it through the storms. And so like, what was that for you? What did that look like exactly?
I think there was a couple like pivotal moments for me. And so I always feel like our pastor says one thing. He's like, you're always either in a storm, coming out of a storm, or going through one, right? You're either entering in it or coming out of it. And there were several years that were fantastic. And then a pivotal moment for my marriage was when my mother-in-law passed. During that time, we had moved states, right? So moving state, 1-year-old, death in the family. That was, I think, year 7 of my marriage, right? We're now in year 13. And so I say that because God was preparing my marriage, right? So that was a storm in my marriage that he knew that I needed to encounter. Because a few years later, I would go through another big pivotal storm for me, which is being blindsided by an ex-business partner. And I feel like that is a pivotal moment in my career, right? I was having my second baby. I'm literally on maternity leave, and I'm locked out of everything from my practice. Just devastating for what I had built, the risks that I had taken, during pregnancy, maternity leave. Really, it was kind of a trying time for me mentally. I had to go on antidepressants. I had some thoughts of some self-harm that I was in counseling for and things upon that sort. And I share that because for me, being a provider, like a PA, I had a stigma against medications. I didn't have a stigma against therapy. I think everybody could be in therapy.
Yes, please.
But I had a stigma against using those medications when I needed those at a time in my life. And they helped me through that. I would not have been able to function as a wife or a mom without those medications. It was a time in my life for about a year and a half where I felt like there was a constant dark cloud floating above me. I literally could not break away from it. It was lingering all of the time, trying to get separated from the business, trying to move on, having a newborn, nursing.
So hard.
2 children. And so the predecessor, right, of losing the family member made my marriage strong. So during this time, my husband carried me. I mean, he was taking on more in the home than he had previously and with the children because my mental capacity was not where it should have been. And it's hard when you're in that storm, like you look at it and you're just like, I'm never going to get out of this. But that really started I always trusted God through it all. I really did. I said, I know you're going to have a purpose for this. I know you're going to have a plan for this. I really do. And then came HaleStorm, right? And so that's how the name came about. There's two things. Is number one, I was talking to a friend and I was like, I don't know what to name my new practice. Like me and my husband, we're going to own it together. I'm done with business partners. I'm done with people screwing me over, trying to sell my business out from under me. Because that's a whole nother story. But him and I are going to partner together. Our marriage is strong enough for us to do this. But I've been through the biggest storm of my life. And then I was like, wait. So my son had come to me and he said, Mom, you're not going to name it after me and my brother. So I took their initials, H and S, and I wrote them on the paper. And then I was like, man, this has been the biggest storm of my life. So I go to the thesaurus. I go to the thesaurus. I type in storm and it's like, hailstorm, thunder. And I was like, Hale, but like, let's spell it as our last name, Hale.
It just seems like obvious to me that it took you like to get there.
I know, like
I'm like, that's obvious.
I mean, I can't even remember the other names now that we were like considering. But they were not as good as this one, that's for sure.
It's incredible. I love it.
And so now what's exciting is, it's an opportunity for me to like share my story like this, right? Of, there was a purpose for the storm. And coming out of that, like even today, right? Like I lead a team of 10 women. That is difficult, like let me tell you. And I'm trying to scale, right? I'm personally, professionally, I am mentally so strong. I literally don't know what could break me at this point. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I was able to come off those medications. I know that they're there if I ever need them in the past and in the future. But again, I think that's also too where the confidence comes from of like, I've been through that. I really, don't know what could be worse, to be honest with you.
What else are you doing to keep yourself mentally strong and resilient? Because other shit's going to come up, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
And like it may not break you, but how do you get yourself through that?
I mean, you're always going to go through things, right? Like, I mean, that storm was 4 to 5 years ago, but like I've been through a storm this year of betrayal. And it didn't break me whatsoever. I mean, it was something that seemed to other people would seem so big did not to me.
Mm.
So for me mentally, there's lots of ways that I invest
Mm-hmm.
in myself. Fitness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we kind of talked about
Yep.
is I just have to have the time to sweat it out. I love to walk,
Mm-hmm.
and
We should go on a walk.
we should
We need
go
to
on
go on
a
some
hot girl walk.
Yeah, let's go on our hot girl walks. We need to do that because I
Because
love them too.
I do too. And it's like, I love listening to podcasts and I love listening to music and all that. But sometimes, honestly, just the silence and the birds and like the sunset and things
Yes.
like that are really
Absolutely.
great. And so that's a big one for me. I read my Bible, my devotionals daily. I think journaling is really important too, to process things.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, just spending time with like true people, true, kind people around you.
Yeah. Yep.
For sure.
Yeah. And I think now you have a good like bullshit meter. You know exactly who is like you just know. And you build a character judge inside of you over those years,
You do, but I've also learned is there, for me, like the people around me, I have surrounded myself with people who have other strengths than me. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you compliment yourself.
Correct. And so like I have a fault where I see the good in everybody, right? I think I can know when people are using me or things
Mm-hmm.
upon that sort, but sometimes when I want to help people, I'm blindsided by that. I put on these blinders. And so I'm luckily to have like a leadership management team around me that has a gift of discernment
Mm-hmm.
because, and they've always been right, And so I would say, I think I do know when people are, you know, not good people, but I feel like sometimes I'm blindsided by that
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a caretaker
Mm-hmm.
and I want to see the good in them.
Yeah.
And if they're struggling, I want to invest in them.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Yep. I get that. And I think discernment is a skill that people need to have.
yeah,
Like you need to learn it for a variety of different reasons, but that is also something that I have been working on a lot because I'm the same way. I'm a super gullible person.
yeah,
So like it's easy for me to hear what someone says and be like, "Oh yeah, that makes total sense."
yeah,
But I finally and this is the purpose of this podcast, like I'm finally going to ask the question.
yeah,
Like, I'm not going to just let somebody tell me something that they think anymore because I need to be discerning enough to understand what they're saying
yeah,
and not just take it as Bible. Like, it's not, and that's normally what I do because I lead with trust first. When you lead with fear, you automatically question those things. But when you lead with trust, it doesn't come as naturally to question things.
So do you feel like when you're doing your questioning, like, are you questioning early? Like in these relationships, like
No.
friendships,
Yeah,
anything?
no, like I know. And that's part of what I've learned and what I'm learning and
Yeah.
why I'm doing this show is
Right.
because I want to help people to learn like what questions to ask earlier on and
Yeah.
not just be agreeable and
Yeah.
not just like think that what the norm is the path. Because it's just not. And like there's so much to life. I don't know. I have grown so much over the last couple of years, and I've just learned that there's so many people in this world. There are so many things to learn. And what you know from what you grew up with and how you were trained in your job or whatever, it's just not always the path.
Yeah.
And you can change that path.
So for me, just like from like a CEO standpoint,
Mhm.
right, of one thing that we did to have better discernment with employees is we changed our hiring and firing process,
Mhm.
right? And so now I'm the CEO. They don't even meet me until interview 3. They have to undergo personality testing. They
Mhm.
have to undergo meeting with other leaders and
Great.
managers before it is even time to meet with me,
Mhm.
right? Because number one, I don't want it to be a waste of my time.
Mhm.
Number two, they know me well enough to know, you know what I mean? If
What you're
that's
going to think.
what I'm going
Yeah.
to think. And then number 3, like we kind of talked about is, again, I don't need to surround myself with another me, right? Like I'm the CEO, I'm the Enneagram 3, like I'm the visionary.
Mhm.
I don't need anybody that's
Yep.
going to be that same personality. So we want to make sure that it fits like within our circle
Yep.
and our culture too. And so that's why I was asking those questions of, I feel like asking the harder questions early on.
Yeah.
And for me, setting those boundaries.
Mhm.
It's like, this is my practice. These are my 4 core values.
Yeah.
If you don't align with them, I want to know now.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Because, and you're going to hear those with every interview because we're going to pick up on if any of those make you feel uncomfortable. Because if they do, then you're not the we're not the fit for you.
Yeah.
We're not the practice for you.
Yeah. I mean, as a chief people officer, that's basically what we guide people to do in their companies is like, you need to have values. You need to know what behaviors you'll accept and what you won't accept. Stephen Bartlett from Diary of a CEO started this company called Culture Test. And I was looking to implement it for my company, but it's really like an in-depth candidate assessment tool. So you're actually funneling people out really early before you get them in. So yeah, I 100% agree with that path. And like,
but people can use this in their personal life is
right,
what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Like,
For
I
sure.
feel like we get so excited. We meet a woman, you have something in common. Like you have the girl vibes. You're like, this is awesome. Like, let's have our glass of champagne. This is all fun and feel good. But it's like, I also need to ask the hard questions to build the trust. You know, before we get too deep. And I let you in my inner circle.
Yes, for sure. And I think like in personal situations, I do listen to my intuition quite a bit. And my gut, just like what my gut tells me. And my gut has never been wrong and it never will be wrong. It just has never been wrong. Okay, so when you think about your own, on second thought moment, what was the season where you realized the storm was teaching you something instead of just taking something from you?
Yeah, that was probably, honestly, that storm was meant to break me, to be honest. I mean, there are some evil human beings in this world, if I'm honest, that their entire mission was to shut me down and have me go away. And I think once I got to
Why? Like, why though? I don't understand.
I don't know the reason why, but so for me with therapy and things like that, when I got to the point where I knew like, okay, I can see the end in sight. And for me, there was an end date. Like I remember my husband and I were going on a trip and I was like, I know and I'm believing that this is going to come to an end before that vacation. So I can finally like not have this dark cloud hanging over. I can actually go. And I just kept believing and kept believing, right? Like yours, like your intuition, right? Like I knew that that was going to be an end date for me. And honestly, just like after that of like my business was blessed tremendously. There was during that season, I went to a training in Atlanta and it was transformative for my business. Just the consultation process, how she ran her business. Like I was implementing things before I went to that and just came full circle. So it was like, I can see this end in sight. The cloud is moving away. I'm seeing the light. I'm continuing to invest in myself, my company, like everything that I'm learning. And to see all of that starting to come together, like it was just like,
that was your moment. Yeah.
This is my moment. This is what I'm meant to do. Like that was meant to break me. It's not. I'm thriving more than I ever have. My business has grown exponentially, right? Which allowed me to financially save to open the practice that I have today. And now we've been open 3 years.
I know.
Like
obsessed. I was there in line the first day.
I know. Like I'm like
so
it's
fun.
Like,
it was so great.
Wow.
I'm so proud of you. It's
amazing.
amazing.
And it's fun to talk about because I feel like sometimes we don't get to sit back and have these conversations of like, okay, how did all these parts weave together for me to get in this chair talking to you about it?
Yes, 100%. And Clark is here. He is amazing. You talk so many amazing things about him. You're very, very lucky. I mean, you're not lucky. I mean, you're lucky, and he's an amazing person.
Yeah.
I'm going through my own personal stuff, but it is just really refreshing to see you guys having gone through your hard time and come out on the other side and build this business together. It's just really, really nice to see.
Thank you.
So I need to know a little bit more about these storms, and in particular the litigation situation, like what is actually happening behind these scenes that other people aren't seeing, that like you're having to deal with both emotionally, like physically, conversationally? What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're going through situations like that is you can't talk about it. You can't talk about it
Mm-hmm.
whatsoever. I mean, you've got
Yeah.
your like 2 or 3 people of, your husband is one of them, and you can't talk about a thing. And so again, and then you have people accusing you of like some very deep things. I mean, I remember during one point, like a video I had posted on social media of me, I was breast pumping during a photo shoot, right? Like with
Mm-hmm.
those wearless pumps. And I was like, did this cool reel of like, you can be a working mom,
Yeah.
like you can do it all. And like that was used against me. Like,
Stop.
yeah.
Because like you weren't working, or
No,
like
just like of, you know, I was not, there were some things in my workplace where I was like not supported with my nursing.
okay.
And so they like, then something that I'd posted like was used against me, and so, and like these claims of you're sending text messages to people that you think are like your right hand, like your assistant, and then they're given to the other side.
Mm.
And so that's very difficult to
Mm-hmm.
go through, of things are just being twisted and spun.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to be very confident that like that you're a good person,
Mm-hmm.
and that like, do I think I'm perfect? I'm not perfect.
No,
Absolutely not.
no one is.
But I'm constantly trying to learn and be better. Like still to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a leader, I read all of these leadership books
Mm-hmm.
of like, how can I lead better? There have been seasons where I've been stressed and drained and burnt out, where I wasn't a great leader. I didn't have patience, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Or I didn't have the right team around me that allowed me to thrive. And so I think that is just, it's a very lonely season. I mean, you're
Mm-hmm.
shut off from the world, but I can't be shut off from the world.
Right.
Like what I do for a living is
Right.
social media based.
Right.
And that's how I earn an income for my family and provide for my children.
Mm-hmm.
And so it can be deep. It can be dark. When people are accusing you, attacking your character.
Mm-hmm.
Um, again, just
And this is publicly
no, this is all
part of your business?
privately. I mean, there was, some mean girl things on social
Mm-hmm.
media. I mean, there still is today. But I'm at the point where I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
some publicity is good publicity.
Sure.
Like,
Sure. 100%. You want to watch me go for
yeah,
it. Yeah.
exactly. Or you want to make fun of me. Like
Yeah.
you want to repost something that I did and remake it, a version of yourself. You think you're making fun of me, but actually you're just pushing people to my page.
Love it.
And if you're talking about me, this is like what I've encountered too, is like, if you're talking about me to your patients in your treatment room, they look me up and then they see my work and then they want to come see me. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you for
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about me.
Exactly.
And
yeah, all PR is good PR.
yeah. So, but yeah, those seasons can just be very lonely and isolating.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why I bring up, therapy and
Mm-hmm.
having trusted people around you is, for me, I learned the counsel around me that I needed to have to grow this business, right?
Mm-hmm.
I needed a business partner that I could trust fully, which was my husband. I needed a CFO that I trust with my finances to advise me financially how to spend my money, what
Yep.
to do with that. And I needed a hell of a good lawyer.
Yep.
So we have all three.
Amazing. Love that. Yeah, I was going to ask you, after all this betrayal and
Yeah.
like being lied to and sued and all the things, like how does that change the way that you lead and you trust people? And I think you kind of already answered it, but like how do you protect what you're building now just with those people?
I mean, again, you can try to protect yourself with contracts
Mm-hmm.
all you want.
Mm-hmm.
People can still break them.
Yeah.
And so then you have to decide too, is like, do you pursue like litigation to make them follow those contracts and be held accountable for what they sign and what they agreed to?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you let it go?
Yeah.
And so part of that is, just being a leader and like setting standards for that and not letting people get away with the things that they shouldn't get away with. But again, I'm going back to like the hiring and firing process. I know everyone says like be slow to hire, quick to fire. It really is the case. Your best time with an employee is going to be their first 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the best they ever are for most people.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're seeing things that you don't like within the first 90 days or the first 6 months,
Probationary period. Always. Yeah.
always. I
Yep.
mean, it's there for a reason.
Yeah. 100%.
But to me, we should look at that with like personal relationships too. Of, okay, this is the best the relationship's going to get when we're in a honeymoon phase, whether it's friendship or,
Yep. Otherwise, yeah.
otherwise, that this is the best it's going to get, trust-wise, everything-wise.
How did you know that Clark was your person?
Clark and I had both been in long-term relationships, like 3 to 5 year relationships before we had come together. We went to college together and we were friends, but like we never dated. And so later on in life, several years later, we re-met, is what I say. Like we ran into each other. And it just was interesting that we knew within 30 days of being together that we were going to get married. And we had both been in longer term relationships, like I'm saying years and years and years, and we had never taken those commitment with other people. But again, for him and I, we were very good at communicating. Very, very, very good. I mean, we started premarital counseling before we were even engaged because we just knew that we wanted to have all of the conversations that we needed to have before we made this agreement and this covenant, like between God and our friends and our family. And it's just paid off.
Yeah.
For me too, like I love my children and I you know what I mean? I love them, but like God first, my marriage second, my children third. And I make so much time for my marriage. We vacation together. We date night regularly together. And a lot of people just get caught up in the day to day or their children, and our children are amazing, but guess what? They're going to leave me someday.
Exactly. 100%. I have the same mentality. I love my children. I'm obsessed with my children. And I also want to love my life and I want to love what I do. And I said from day one when I met my husband, I'm like, I'm never going to be a stay-at-home mom. You're cool with that, right? Like I can't, I just won't do it because I know that one, I just couldn't do it. Like God bless the mom. I have a few moms friends that stay home with their kids and I like,
love
God
my
bless.
stay-at-home mom
I know. I again, like, it's like teachers. I don't know how they do their jobs. Like, it's just incredible. But I just knew that, and so I love when other moms say that because it makes me feel validated. But yeah, we're similar in that way. Okay. I'm going to take a breath for a second.
Take your breath.
This is so good. You're so good. Okay. I want to talk about what it takes to keep building something when it's hard. Okay. Because like one of the things that I've been experiencing through the development of this podcast and my personal brand and all the things that I'm trying to do right now is you go through moments of like, I'm not doing this anymore. I can't do this anymore. This is so hard. Like I can't possibly get to the other side of this. How have you handled that? Like, how do you push through?
I think that there's a couple things that I want to say on this is I probably was there in the past year, right? Like I had another baby. He's 9 months old. I literally took a 6-week maternity leave and that was too long.
Oh.
Not for me. I needed more time for me to heal, to bond, but like for my practice. And so that was another pivotal moment.
Interesting.
That I encountered of, okay, number one, I need to look internally of like, what am I doing as a leader if my practice can't function while I'm out for 6 weeks? And like, who are the people that are in my office that I trust while I'm not there to be present, right? Because you know me and I feel called to speak, to share, business related, injectable training, motherhood, faith, all of that. It's what my passion is. But like, I can't go do that if I can't leave my practice and it run well while I'm not there. So I think that was a pivotal point of like looking internally inside myself of like, who am I as a leader? But I feel like when you enter this stage where like, I can't go anymore, just put one step in front of the other. And sometimes that was pulling into my practice, sitting inside my car, right? And just like, take a deep breath, Kayla. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot walk in there and let these people know what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Your staff can't know what you're going through. Your patients can't know what you're going through. You're going to, you're going to breathe through this, and like, you're going to go in there and you're going to like let your light shine, and you're not going to carry this with you. And so there's a period of that. But for me too, I have to go back to like the counsel around me is the three people that I mentioned earlier, you know, my husband, my CFO, our financial advisor, and like my lawyer, like all have guided me through this
Mm-hmm.
process. And you have to have counsel.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot be isolated. You cannot make decisions like when you're in the midst of that.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, too, there was a period, a lot of people didn't know this. I took 2 weeks off of social media, completely deleted it.
Wow.
2 weeks is a long time for somebody who runs a social media-based
Yeah.
business. And
Yeah.
I will say that the mental clarity that I had during that time was phenomenal. That my husband actually deleted it at the same time as me, and he still doesn't have it back.
Genius.
Genius, right?
Yep.
But so when you feel like you can't go any further, put one step in front of the other, seek your counsel, step back, don't make any irrational decisions, and allow yourself to like truly process
Mm-hmm.
what you were meant to be and what you were meant to call to do.
Yeah. I want to like go back to you when you were sitting in your car, and like I have a hard time with not being my authentic self. If I'm going through a hard time, people around me, they're going to know because I wear my heart on my sleeve. And if I push down those emotions, I will explode. And so I'm do you feel like doing that must be what's right for you, right? In that moment and what you need to do for your business. I guess I'm just kind of like relating or not relating to this in particular is like, I can't do that. Like when I'm at work, I obviously put on a good face for meetings and all of that stuff, but I won't overinvest my time because I will just explode on people. And I'm like the head of HR. I mean, like I can't explode on people. They drive me nuts all the time. But I guess, is that a learned skill? Something where you've like just kind of pushed it down for the moment and breathed through it. And
yeah, I think for me, it's the role that I'm in.
Yeah.
Right. Is I have a woman team that some of them do bring their stuff to work, right? They're emotional human beings. They're not able to leave it at the door. And so I am trying to model that for them to help them learn and help them grow. And number two, I'm kind of like a therapist in my job, which I love. I say that like as a compliment is when my patients walk in the treatment room, it's their time. It's not mine. And so no matter what I'm carrying, like what they're carrying outside the four walls of the treatment room, like I want them to forget about it for the hour or 2 hours that they're at my med spa.
Yeah.
And truly, that's like what I believe.
Yeah.
And so being an empath is, I think it's just me, honestly, me just being selfless and saying like, this is their time and I want them to have that.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's how I can get through it is, you know, I have my few people that I know that I can open up to. And I'm with you. If I push down emotions too much, like I'm going to explode as well. Like I am an open communicator. Like I'm very direct. Like I can't hide my feelings, like friendships, marriage, anything. But I have learned and I'm getting better at having those conversations like with the appropriate time and the appropriate tone. I know that if I'm feeling emotional about someone, it's not a good time to talk about it.
100%. Yeah.
I need to wait a week or two to where I can be a little bit more level-headed to approach that topic.
Yeah, I'm learning that too.
It's hard. I'm still learning.
I think it's just an interesting thing because open communication is something that we preach across all aspects of our life. Like communication is key to everything. And so for me, I just like to communicate all the time. And I've realized that that's not always the thing to do. Maybe you need to take a minute and not communicate.
I agree, but I feel like sometimes too, like being direct as a female, we get labeled on us, right? When in my mind, like clear is kind.
Yes.
if you know my expectations for our friendship or our relationship as patient provider, like that's being kind to you. Like these are my expectations.
Yes. Brene Brown, love her. Love that. Speaking of that, what do you think high achieving women often misunderstand about strength and being strong?
I think that a lot of times strong women put up these walls, right? You know, because they feel like they have to like protect themselves all the time, protect their business, and they don't let anyone in because we do like, right? Like most successful people have been sued or are suing.
100%.
And it's not just one time. Like I think, I don't even remember what the statistic is, but it's like 4 to 5 times or something like that. You're going to be in a lawsuit, out of a lawsuit, whatever, suing somebody. That's just like annoying. And so I think that successful people like live constantly with that fear of, I hope that these women can know like they can find their people that they can let down those walls with, because that's not a fun life to live, of just constantly being, you know, strong and put up these walls and not having like genuine relationships or genuinely letting people in.
Yeah.
You know, I've been through betrayal in the last year, and it's like I could have taken that and literally never trusted anybody again. But I don't want to do that. I want to learn from it. And you do harden every time something like that happens. But I'm an emotional, right? I'm an empath. Like I love emotions. I love connecting that way. And so I don't want to shut myself off from other awesome relationships that might be brought to me just because I've been screwed over in the past.
Right. 100%. A connection and relationship is like the foundation to our lives.
Yeah. Like
literally.
what is life without it?
Exactly. And I've struggled. I think you know this, but my family, my friends, I don't have a lot in Oklahoma. I have some core friends that I've made. I would include you as one of them at this point. And I think that that has been really challenging for a strong woman, because not only are you constantly like putting up walls or trying to like show that you're resilient and show that you're strong, but it's impossible to have hard conversations with people that you love and that you care about on Zoom or FaceTime or whatever. And it's like, ugh.
Yep.
And I know you are not from here either.
Yeah.
So like, have you dealt with that too?
Yeah. I mean, when we moved here, I had he was a couple months over the age of 1, like maybe 1.5. And I was working nights in the ER and doing my aesthetics part-time. And it was winter. Talk about miserable, like
depression.
You know, like, I mean, like so I literally had to put myself out there too. Like I was like going to workout classes, like introducing myself to people. Like we found a church that we were connected with, and like I love my church, but like at that time they were all like stay-at-home moms. You know what I mean? I didn't have any working mom friends, and it's just different here than it was in Dallas, right? In Dallas, like every mom works. Like if you stay home, it's an anomaly. And so it's just it was different. It was so hard. And making friends as an adult,
so hard.
No one talks about it.
So hard.
It's so hard. It's like, you know, we need.
Because then you look desperate. You're like, oh, want to go get a coffee? Like, and if they don't respond, you're like, oh, just kidding.
Yeah.
Like, want to go get a drink? Like, do you drink? Like, it's so hard. It's hard.
Well, and also too, I think like you and I can talk about other things than our children.
Right.
And I love that, right? Like I'm a human being. I don't have a ton of hobbies right now because I don't have time for it, but my work is my hobby and I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
I can talk about other things too, like besides my children. And I think that that's hard to find too. I love my kids. I love play dates. But again, too, like, I have my own identity as Kayla.
Yes. And that's like, I keep saying this in these episodes, but like, that's what I want this place to be. I want, On Second Thought and the podcast and the community that I'm building around it, to be a place where women, whether you're a working mom or not a working mom or whatever, to be able to have the deeper conversations and learn from what people are going through. And I consider myself a deep conversationalist because I love to learn about people. I'm very curious.
I love that.
And I want this to be a place for that. And so like, I want to have people on here, and also my solo episodes, but mostly people on here that are willing to do that.
Yeah.
And that's why I was also really excited to have you on, because I know that you're super deep too.
Yeah.
And like, you care a lot about what you do, who you are, what you're becoming, and your family and all the things. So I think that's super important. Okay. All right. let's walk through some actionable advice for women that are going through their own things right now. Maybe she's dealing with business pressure, betrayal, relationship issues, motherhood guilt, financial fear. How do you keep going when you're hurt or you're disappointed? We just talked about this a little bit, but like when people still need you, like when your husband needs you, your kids need you, and you're going through all of those things, like what do you tell your kids? How do you show up for your kids?
Yeah. I think that this probably goes back to me like taking a deep breath in my car is I have to segment everything. Does that kind of make sense? Like even with like time management, it's like I like we can multitask, whatever. I get that. But I tell everybody, like, I'm not Superwoman. So for me, like when I'm at work, work gets 110%. When I'm with my kids from 5:30 to 8 p.m., my kids are getting my 100%. Like my phone is down. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so
I'm so bad at that.
this is how I have survived those moments is like you have to turn that part of your brain off to do whatever you're doing and focus on that.
Even when you're going through a lawsuit?
Even when you're going through it. Even when you're going through it. I think that you still have to try to segment it. I mean, it can be in the back of your head, but you have to. I think it's a learned skill, it's a learned trait, but you have to say like, I know there's going to be time to process this and to feel this, but these 2 or 3 hours during like bedtime routine is not it. These 2 or 3 hours like during date night is not it. Maybe it is it. Maybe that's your time to communicate.
Yeah, but still. I love that. And I mean, people preach this all the time, and I envy people that can do it. I have a really hard time with it. And I think, like, for example, this morning, like the podcast trailer launched this morning, which I'm so excited about. I can't wait. But I woke up purposefully at 5:15 to sit down, go through my social plan for the day, what I got to do, also my job that I have, getting like my job, like the things that I need to do for my actual job squared away. And then my son wakes up like an hour and a half before he's supposed to wake up, right? And so I'm sitting there and I'm like,
you're frustrated.
I'm like, I have so many things I need to do. And honestly, I kind of ignored him. Yeah. And I mean, he was still exhausted. He like laid next to me and I was like, buddy, I really got to do some work. And he's like, why are you working all the time? And I'm just like, ugh. It just is like so freaking hard because you want to, and you need to meet expectations in all areas of your life. Right. But this just is a good reminder that I really need to compartmentalize things and try to be more present when I need to be present. Yeah. It's really hard.
I just found like if I was trying to do like 2 things at once, right? Like if I'm trying to be on my phone and play with my kids, this is just like what comes to mind. Like no one was getting 100% from me.
I agree.
Right? Like my emails had typos or whatever. And then like I'm listening, but I'm not really listening. And so I think that again, and I'm not perfect, right? Sometimes we do have to do 2 things at once. But for the most part, I really tried to like segment things out.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't allow the kids to have iPads on Sundays. And they're always like, well, why do you get to have your phone? And I'm like, good point.
That is kind of a good point.
Touche. I guess maybe we should put our phones down.
I love that.
It's valid.
Well, too, like, okay, right. So let's go back to this morning. You know, like your son, you know, yes, he woke up early and he came in there, but like, you know, say you would have just like taken 5 or 10 minutes, like maybe that's what your plan was for the day. Like maybe he had something profound to say to you to like encourage you for this podcast today. Or maybe he would have served you and said, thank you for cuddling with me, Mom. I know you're working. Like I'm going to go get you a cup of water. Or,
I know.
And so.
Yeah. I need to let those moments in. Yeah. And I don't because I'm in survival mode. Yeah. Which is another episode that I'm going to do.
I was literally going to say that earlier when we were talking about that stuff. Is like survival mode is completely different. Survival mode is survival mode. And you have to do like what you can during that season. But then when you're out of it, right, you can take those skills that you learned through that storm and implement them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is exactly this. Like how do you separate the facts of what is happening from the fear and the panic and the survival mode? It's like, even right now, I can feel myself like getting anxious about the day ahead and like all the things. I'm getting emotional, like all the things that are going on.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm having a hard time like separating it all.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it.
I mean, I don't either. But, and I know therapy is great and they give you tools and things for you to help on that. But it's like, again, it's like that dark cloud that's like constantly looming. So like there was a season, like I don't know that I could have compartmentalized the way that I do now.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Like you realize it and you want to get there. And so just take the little moments.
Are you running this podcast today?
Sorry.
No, you should take over now that I'm like pouring my eyes out. I wish, I need to do that. It is this is like such a helpful conversation because it's just a really good reminder that you need to focus on the things that are in front of you.
Yeah.
And not be so concerned with things that you either don't have control over.
What's going to change in the outside world during this next hour and a half? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
There's very low chance that there's going to be a crisis that I can't fix, like when I get back on my phone.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But also, like, to have those deeper conversations, it's like, I want to be focused on this hour and a half. You know what I mean? Your kids are in a safe environment right now. Like, that they're taken care of. You know that your job is okay for the next hour and a half. So it's like, just let yourself be in the moment, whether that's with friends or family or children or whoever that your work.
Yeah. No, it's, oh God, I'm an emotional, what does Will Ferrell say? One of those actors says something, I'm full of emotion. What is it? Box of emotions? I don't know. I'm full of emotions is all I can say.
I just think of like the little kids movie. What is that? Like where there's like islands and there's all the emotions like sadness and
Yeah. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
What is that movie called?
Do you know what that movie's called? Inside Out. Thank you. Yep, Inside Out. Great movie.
I love it.
What are your non-negotiables? You kind of mentioned them earlier, but like, you have your faith, your marriage, and your kids. But are there any other things that you really are like not willing to forego?
I mean, I think that I have boundaries within like different realms of my life. And so like recently for us in the past like several years, like we've had to set boundaries with like who our children are around, and like the environments that they're in. We're different. Like we don't do slumber parties. Like,
we don't either.
So there's just certain things like that where we've just had to set more boundaries and really like, they're not bad human beings, but like if they don't want to abide by the rules that we have for our children, then they can't be in our lives. And that's hard, right? Because again, they're not bad people. They're just not fitting in like our belief system for what we want for our children. And so that's definitely probably been the most challenging thing over the last couple years that we've been working on. And sometimes that can be isolating too, of, just choosing to live our life differently. But I know that that's how we want to raise our children. And so we just have to be confident in that, right? It's like same for my marriage. Like my marriage has certain boundaries, right? Like I don't go have lunch with a male alone. If I deal with male reps, he's in a group text with them. Majority of the time he deals with the opposite sex in our industry. Like same with him, like we just don't allow like any of those like interactions. Both of our phones are like, nothing's locked. Both have all of our passwords to every single thing. So like that's like my marriage boundaries for me, and then my family boundaries. And then with work too, it's just I mean, I could work
I
24/7.
know.
I'll be honest, just because I just love what I
You
do.
love it,
I
yeah.
mean, I really do love it. I don't feel like it's a job. I look forward to going every day. And
That
so that's probably like the hardest one that I struggle with the most. And again, I think it's too just because I'm like, I'm not there yet. You know what I mean?
right.
Like
You're still
I'm
working on it.
I'm close. We're close.
Yeah.
For everything that I've been
You
building
gonna
over the
open up
last
another
decade.
location? Sorry. Am I disclosing information?
I mean, listen, it's no secret that my goal is to have multiple
Yeah.
locations. That's no secret. It's no secret. You know
So
that.
exciting.
You know,
I know nothing, by the way. I know nothing. I'm assuming.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, by the time this launches, you never know what can happen by the time this
Woohoo!
launches.
Love it.
I mean, new companies. I mean, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
an entrepreneur, so
Yep.
there are definitely other things that I desire to do.
I know. You came out with some skincare products that you
Yeah.
sell at your.
Mhm.
I'm so jealous of that. And
Yeah.
that is, when I was thinking about what I wanted to do as an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
I was like, what do I start with?
Yeah.
Decided to start with podcasts, but
Yeah.
I want to have a skincare brand someday.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that I care so much about. I love it.
We can talk about this because I don't want somebody to steal my idea, but like I have an idea for another skincare line.
Great. Can I be an investor?
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay.
I think you'll like it.
I will like anything you do, I'm sure. What questions would you tell a woman or someone to ask themselves when they're deciding whether or not to keep fighting the battle
Yeah.
or to walk away?
I'm an anomaly in
Mm.
I'm literally going to keep walking through. I'm going to keep opening every door in front of me until it's literally slammed shut in my face. There's other people that won't walk through the doorway until the door is opened for them.
Mhm.
And so I think that goes back to like mentality. Like, what do you feel called to do? Like, if you feel called that a podcast is your purpose, take every single step you can to make it happen.
Mhm.
I think a lot of times people give up too quickly. They have like one little bump in the road and they're like, oh, I'm done. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
if that were the case for me, it's like every delayed shipment or, you know, when we were trying to find a place for HaleStorm, people don't know this. I put in 5 offers on buildings and offices before we found the one that we were at today.
Wow.
I mean, there was one office I offered to pay 6 months rent in advance in cash.
Wow.
Didn't get it. There was
In Oklahoma City?
in Oklahoma City.
Fascinating.
And there was another location that was like very close to our home where I was like, this is what God wants, close to the home because I'm going to be working a lot. I want to be able to go back and forth. Totally shut it down by like the owner who was like in our lives. Disappointing. So it just was very interesting to me of like, you know what I mean? If I would have said like, no, I'm not called to do this just because I was told no 5 times, you know, it's just a bump in the road.
Do you think that comes from confidence and motivation, or is it a mix of those things? Or
I think it's like I knew I was called to like grow a team of women. Like I knew that like that was my end goal and my journey.
and it was going to be through the med spa, not through some other thing.
Yeah, I mean, I went to medical school.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I went to school for 7-8 years to like be able to do what I'm doing today. And so I think that like for that to pay off, like it was like it's going to be through this.
And you love it. So,
and I love it.
Yeah.
To start, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There could be a different
well, yeah, because,
outlet in the future.
Right. Because that's the thing is like, yes, you went through med school, you pay, like it's expensive. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And you could decide to do something different at some point.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
Yeah.
And I definitely do foresee that too is like, you know, something that I've been talking about too, like with Clark and just some close friends is like, when my 9-month-old is in kindergarten, I want to be homeroom mom. Like
Love
that's
that.
my goal.
Yeah.
Like that's 5 years from now. Like I can grind right now. I've been grinding, you know, I can keep grinding, but like there's going to come a time where I'm going to slow down a little bit, right? And reap the fruits of my labor. And it's going to be with a 3rd child.
What's going to be one of your, like, what's your top vacation destination for when you like get there?
Okay, so we've been talking about this too, so this is very interesting. 5 years ago, we went to Hawaii. So we had a 5-year-old and a 6-month-old at the time.
My
And
God.
I know, we're crazy people.
You're insane. Holy crap.
We went to Hawaii and we're on like the tram at the airport. Like we'd landed in Honolulu and there was another family of like 5 and we're like, oh, have you guys been here before? They're like, yeah, we're staying here for a month. And we're like, what? They're like, yeah, every summer we just like rent a house wherever we want to go for a month and we just spend a month with our kids like at that destination. Okay. So
Oh my God, amazing.
you have known that I am where I want to be when I take 2 or 3 weeks off and I take my entire family. I think ours will probably be Europe. I've never been to Europe. I don't think that I'm going to be able to go without my children, just because we don't have a lot of help, to leave them here.
Yeah.
And so for me, like when I can take that opportunity and do that, that's something that I'm really looking forward to.
That's amazing.
That'll be a big milestone for me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it all happen. Looking back, what helped you keep your heart soft without becoming naive again? Or feeling like maybe you were...
I still feel naive sometimes.
Yeah. That's fair.
But
still, yeah.
Because again, there's just something about me and my personality of I'm always going to see the good and the kindness like through the other things, which I think is a good quality. And again, it's a bad quality because it's what's allowed me to be screwed over.
And your faith.
Yeah,
You're a very
for
faithful
sure.
person.
Yeah, I'm a very faithful person. Absolutely. I just think a lot of it too is just like who God made me to be, right? Like I want to be educated to make good decisions, right? And so I feel like I used to make those decisions alone or isolated. So I try not to do that anymore, number one. Number two, I always try to take the lesson and like implement it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to learn, you have to grow from it.
Yeah. What is too much? So we talked about like journaling and like all of the things that you've done, like actions that you've taken, therapy, all the things to get to have a mindset that you're able to like do all of it, right? But when does all of the self-help stuff become too much?
Yeah, I think when you're not putting it into practice, right? I mean, when you go to a conference and you learn something new, they tell you to implement it within 48 to 72 hours or you're not going to implement it. So if you're constantly being filled with all of these like motivational things or all of these tips or tricks, but then you're not utilizing it, that's too much. So sometimes, I mean, I'm like love a good book, but it's like you need to go through the chapter more slowly because I need to process that and allow that to sit in on what I want to implement and what I want to take from this.
Yeah.
So I definitely think there's a lot that can be too much. I mean, look at society. I mean,
I know. How do you deal with social media and the need to be on all the time? I mean, you talked about taking time off and that was really clear. You gained a lot of clarity from that, but what is that like? I mean, I'm starting my journey on this, so tell me what I need to do or not do.
So it looks different. So like in the day-to-day when I'm like in clinic, I do more live stories. Like if I've got like even a 2-minute break between patients, like I'll jump on. I jumped on the car on the way here, just showed like, hey, this is what we're doing today. But then when I'm with my family, it looks differently. So a lot of times I'll just take a picture or video in the moment and I will wait and post like not in real time. And so that may be like after the kids go to bed, then I like, hey, here's a recap of like my day of what we did, right? So we went to Colorado like a month ago with the kids. I was not posting in real time at all. I think it's fine to like have your phone, take the snapshot, take the video, but like be in the moment. And then when they go to bed, I can get on and post. But I definitely have to have boundaries with that too, because like when my kids go to bed, it's also time to like invest in my marriage. And so we have to have conversations of check-ins of like, hey, tonight I need to be off my phone, or hey, tonight, like I need to be on the laptop. I need to be signing charts. I need to be doing prescriptions, ordering. And so just, I think clear communication on like, hey, tonight I'm going to put everything away and focus on you versus I need to work. And you have to have a supportive spouse to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because there can be a hard season, but he knows like we're going this together. And so as long as I'm not doom scrolling and I'm working, like he's okay with it. He understands like the good side of social media.
Yeah.
And I've been very lucky that social media has been a very positive experience for me. Like I don't have a lot of like the negative things, the negative energy, but I try to stay away from like controversial things on social media because that's just not my heart to be controversial. My heart is like, I want you to have a place like where you see like a working mom be successful, but like have her own identity and like share with you my work and what I'm passionate about. So I just try to keep it like very light.
Yeah. And
While still being authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you are, and you do, and you've been on for a long time now. I mean, I've been following you for, I don't even know now, like 7 years or
Yeah,
something.
I was gonna say it's been like probably like 8
Yeah,
to
7 or 8
9.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, like that when I started Hale Beauty Queen.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did, and I think my biggest issue with it right now is like, how do you keep up with things? Like, how do you keep up with trends and the algorithm and all the
You have
things?
people
like,
for that.
Do you have people for that?
I do.
Oh, okay. Well, I need a people for that.
Yeah, it's hard.
I know.
When, I mean, as you're growing and things like that, like there comes a point where like,
Yeah.
you have to delegate.
Yeah.
I delegate a lot.
Okay, good. That's good to know.
Yes.
It's good to know.
That's probably a whole nother episode of
Yeah, it is. I mean, it
delegating
is.
with people.
Yeah. The other thing I was recording today was I could not have done anything that I've done up until this point without a group of people around me. Like I did have a social media team helping with the launch, a podcast producer, a copywriter, a brand designer,
All of that.
a coach, a strategic advisor, a therapist.
Yeah.
Like a massive
That's
team.
what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
And you need that.
Yeah.
Exactly. To get to the next step. And people don't talk about it.
Yeah.
That's what they don't talk about, is that they've had all these people around them helping them get through the storm, get through the launch, get through the thing. People are talking more about delegation and like whatever, but it's definitely.
Yeah, I don't have time to keep up with the trends. But I can be the face and I can
100%.
film and do all of that.
Yeah, just tell me what to do.
Exactly.
But, yeah, 100%. All right, let's get into the fun segment and then we'll wrap up. Okay, so this is called What I'd Tell Her. Okay, so I'll give you an example of a woman who's going through something and then tell her what you think she needs to hear in that moment.
I probably just want to hug her.
I know. You empath, you.
I know.
Okay, so what would you tell the woman who feels like every time she's starting to make progress, another problem hits?
You were called to do this.
Okay. What would you tell the woman who's been betrayed by someone she trusted and now feels like she can't trust anyone else?
There are good people out there.
What would you tell the woman who wants to quit but deep down knows she is only exhausted, not done?
Take a beat. Refresh.
What would you tell the woman who's praying for clarity but all she can see right now is chaos?
It will come in God's timing, not yours.
What if you're not faithful?
I think just trusting that this is not your moment. Your moment's coming.
Okay. What would you tell the woman who is trying to be a great mom, wife, leader, and business owner, but feels like she's failing at all of it? Like me right now.
Yeah. I'm like, ooh, like every day. No. I think that I would tell her that you're doing a great job, first off. And then second, maybe we do have some conversations about delegation of like, what are some things that you feel like are overwhelming to you that we can take off your plate for you to be able to focus more on what you feel like you're lacking in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, prioritization too.
Yeah.
You need to really dive into, I'm like thinking out loud is like dive into your priorities and what really is important to you and what matters for your future and for you to be able to live the fulfilled life that you want to live. And, you know, what is the season that you need to spend the most time in right now? I can give this advice all day long, but I can't take it. It's a problem. What would you tell the woman who keeps asking, why is this happening to me?
I would say that you have to trust in the timeline, and you have to trust in your story. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that something that's resonating for me right now is like, I've I've been through a lot for my story to develop me to where I am today. I'm not done. I know that I still have more, but I do feel like it is a platform for me to share. To the point where I have a platform to share what I've gone through. I think what's hard for me right now is we can't save our children from their story. And so
Mm-hmm.
as a mother, you know, my oldest will be 10 in a couple weeks, and just like already just starting to see like, okay, like he's starting to have to learn some lessons and go through things, and I can't save him from that.
I know.
I have to just teach
It's
him
so
to
hard.
have the tools to make it through it, to support him
Mm-hmm.
while he's in my home for another 8 years, because half of my time with him is gone.
So crazy. What's his birthday? Because I think
August 1st.
August 1st. Okay, Tyler's is July 12th. I
Okay.
thought they were close.
Yeah.
They're a year apart, but
Yeah.
what would you tell the woman who knows she needs stronger boundaries but feels guilty setting them? Mm-hmm.
Believe in yourself.
Trust yourself,
Trust
right?
yourself. Yeah. If you're feeling like you need to set boundaries, there's a reason you're feeling that feeling. It's going to be hard in the moment, but it's going to pay off in the long run.
Mm-hmm. I have so many spin-off questions to that. I don't know where to start. But like, what's been the hardest boundary for you to set?
It's been with family and my children.
Interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess, yeah, the people closest to you, that's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of just knowing the way that we want to raise our children and just being confident in that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What would you tell the woman who's being misunderstood, judged, or talked about while she's trying to survive a really hard season?
You have to know who you are. You have to look back and really say, these are the truths about myself. I am kind, or, you know, whatever it may be. I'm truthful. I'm a good human being. I'm caring. And I think just fill yourself with all of those positive things of who you are.
Are there what are your top 3 books you'd recommend a woman read to help her with any of this stuff? Love a good book resource.
Oh my gosh. There's a book that I read several years ago, I think called Work Party. I don't know if you ever heard of that one.
Mm-mm.
That was really good. That was really interactive. I've really enjoyed Tim Tebow's wife's book. She really found herself in like her identity of being Miss Universe, I think is what she was, and just like that really resonates of like, oh my gosh, I'm Miss Universe for a year and I have this whole team around me like doting on me, and then the minute that crown's off my head, like everyone has forgot about me.
Wow.
And so I think a lot of times for women, like I could find my identity in my career very easily. And for me, that's a challenge.
Yeah, same.
Of like, I'm not just Hale the Beauty Queen, like I'm Kayla. And so that was a really, really like powerful book for me.
Yeah.
Of when you're finding.
I know. I always think about people that like have made that their lives. Do you watch The Real Housewives?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I love reality TV.
Did you watch Real Housewives of Rhode Island?
I did. That's the one I didn't watch.
Okay, so this is a newer one.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because they all have Boston accents, but they live in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense because it's right there. But one of the women, she was, I don't know, Miss Rhode Island or whatever. And she had a boyfriend of 10 years and lived with him and didn't have any identity outside of that.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like going through the process of not being with him anymore. And I'm just like, how do you get through that?
You've seen that a lot on Real Housewives too, where people like have lost their identity and their significant other. And I hope that like neither me nor my spouse never lose our identity. Like, and I mean, you do like you merge and you weave and you become one, but like, you know, he still has his guys trips and his hobbies and things on that sort. Like it's good to have that, but that does make me sad. When I see things like that.
And even just like, I always think about sports players like NBA, NFL, like and women's sports too, that they wrap themselves up in these things and then the second it's over. So that's actually, I should read that book. That's a good book. That would be interesting.
I have it. I'll let you borrow it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, time to wrap up. This was incredible. You didn't make me cry. You didn't make me cry. I made myself cry by asking you a hard question.
Yeah.
And this was just such a great conversation. I'm so glad you came on. So if listeners leave the episode with one thing to think about on second thought, what would you hope that is?
Don't give up in the storm. There's a purpose. There's a reason for it. And so even when you're clouded by the darkness, try to see some light.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing glimpses of it.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah.
To see, and I'm working with I guess I would call her a coach, but she's helping me, and every day she's like, after the dark, there is light. After the light, there is dark. You will continue to swing back and forth, and that's normal. And you need to have the tools to deal with it.
Yeah.
And that's,
I agree.
yeah, it's hard. But we're doing it. And
We are.
yeah, I'm such a different person than I was 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Is there anything else that you would want to share with our listeners before we wrap up? Is there anything we didn't cover that you were hoping to cover?
I think that for me too, like we focus a lot on like overcoming these storms, overcoming these roadblocks, things upon that sort. But to me, it's like, what were you called to do? Like, what do you feel like your calling is? And do that at the best to your ability, right? If that is, and I think this is for me just like anywhere I go, right? If I go into a store and like I can tell that they love their job, like I'm gonna shop more and
Right.
like because they love their job.
Right.
If I go to a restaurant and the waiter like hates his life, like don't live that life where you're hating what you do.
Yeah.
I think you exude so much more happiness and positivity and radiate when you're doing what you're called to do and what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's just like, don't get stuck.
Yeah. I will say it's easier said than done. I think like in my experience and just doing this, it's like, it is really hard. I'm fortunate that I have a job that is able to help me fund the things that I want to do.
Right.
I think that there are people that don't have the resources necessarily or even the wherewithal or the know-how to do it. And so like, what would you say to the person that doesn't even know where to start?
Well, I think you have to find somebody that believes in you, right? Like that believes in your mission too. I mean, I've had a coach at one point too of 8-9 years ago when I'd moved here and was like, what am I doing? What's going on in Oklahoma?
Yep.
Who am I? And so I think that is the time to pull in those resources to help and also narrow down what you are meant to do.
Yeah.
Right. Because you were like, I know that I'm called to have my own business, but you didn't know what it was.
Right.
You were like, let me dabble in this, let me dabble in that. Like, what is it that I'm narrowing it down? But I'm sure with like all of these outside processing, like you were able to narrow it down. Like, this is how you're supposed to share your voice.
Yeah. You're right. You'll find.
This is very encouraging.
Yeah.
I could never do this. So kudos
Thank
to you.
The solo episodes are a lot harder because it is easier to have a natural conversation as much as possible while trying to keep the flow going. But it's been very enjoyable.
Yeah.
But all right, where can everybody go to find you, learn from you, book appointments?
Yes.
Tell me more.
So my Instagram handle is Hale, Hale, the beauty queen. And then the med spa is HaleStorm, HALE, Storm, OKC. So
it is an incredible place. I love it. You feel at home when you walk in. Everybody is so kind.
It's truly what I wanted.
Like literally treat you like gold when you walk in the door and you walk out glowing. So
I literally remind the girls every day, like whatever they're going through outside these doors, they're not going to feel that. The minute they walk in, you guys are going to reset. You're going to feel cared for because that's the only time I can control for you. I can't control what you're going to go through outside this podcast, but I could control that time during your appointment. So I'm glad you love it. And
I love it.
That way.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you again for joining. This was such a good conversation. And I think that women will get a lot out of this. I'm hoping that the way that you shared the things that you've gone through, the way that you've gotten through them, will land. And I'm super excited to share this episode with everybody. So yeah, you can be a mom and a wife and a CEO and look good, feel good. You can do it all.
It's possible.
It just hurts sometimes.
Yeah.
Thank you again for being here.
thank
I'm
you for
so
having me.
glad. And yeah, make sure you follow On Second Thought.